Hi there, it's Steve Perkins again, cooking buff from the Muscle Kitchen. The Muscle Kitchen. This is a sign I made of the logo years and years ago. My computer was in the hospital getting some systemic surgery done, and I was like, I had just developed the Muscle Kitchen concept, and the website was beginning to happen, and all the materials going into it, and I was frustrated. So I made this sign as something to do: idle hands, devil's tools, and all that stuff. And it's still very similar to the original, to the actual logo today. Today, it's making its appearance in the Muscle Kitchen. Anyhow, today's subject is supplementation. There's been a lot of controversy about it, and a lot of people have questions, and it's something I've been doing a lot of myself, and sometimes I make my own mistakes and learn from them. Well, don't we all? We should. Anyhow, let me just try to cover the whole thing really quickly, but if there's so much to cover, please don't feel like this is any attempt to be thorough. This is just to give you an overview of what I learn and what I suggest about supplementation. Supplements are no substitute for real food. The real words, the definition of the word supplement is to add to or to compensate or to enhance whatever the object of the adjective is. So, or the verb. Anyhow, the whole point is that you can either spend a lot of money on food and a little money on supplements, meaning a lot of money on really high quality food and a little bit on supplements to fill in the gaps, or you can spend just a tiny bit on food, really nasty, cheap, lousy, processed foods, junk food, and then you'll have to spend an awful lot of money on supplementation to compensate. It's really, pardon for the cabinet slam, trying to maintain a feng shui atmosphere here isn't that easy. So just think about that. You have X amount of dollars to spend on your health. We all have a budget of some sort. So you can either spend it on really quality food and then supplement, or you can spend on really crappy food a tiny bit and then have to spend a lot of money on the supplementation. Having said all that, it's entirely possible that you can treat medical symptoms with food. That's what I'm all about. And it's not just food, it's herbs, and there's special tinctures and essential oils, etc. But that's all in the other part of the Muscle Kitchen. And this video series, which I failed to mention at the top, is called Eat Like You Mean It. Everybody else is using that same phrase, so it must be a good one. Anyhow, the whole point is all the information behind it. Just to get your attention, there are plenty of big issues that we need also to share with you about supplementation. It used to be, 20 years ago, something when I got started in this business, they would say, oh, you don't need supplements, you don't need multiple vitamins, just eat a good diet. Well, a good diet right now, today, in 2015 in America, is the hardest thing to come by. You have to work very, very hard to find pure foods that aren't adulterated, modified, engineered, GMO'd, and they've been doing it for so many years, insidiously. We never really knew how far they were into our bodies and under our food sources, but now we know the truth. Anyhow, on and on. So you can't just rely upon grocery store foods to make you healthy. I mean, just look at people and what's in their shopping carts. They don't really buy the real food. They buy the stuff in the middle of the store. The perimeter of the store, again, has the fresher foods, not the canned foods, not the frozen foods. That's generally speaking. So I try to shop the perimeter of the store first, but I always have a shopping list anyhow. Don't ever go to the store without a shopping list. Know exactly what your body needs and what you require right at that moment and follow through on it. Onward. Yes, supplementation can be dangerous. You can overdo. You can rely upon supplementations where you should not. And everything depends upon the quality of the supplements. You have to get so smart about reading the labels and start now. If you don't, it's too much. if you learn something new for your job, you just do it, right? Well, this is your job. Your other primary job is taking care of you, your body. So make this a priority for yourself. Get familiar with the labels on supplements and what it really means and what it's providing compared to the cost per serving, how much you're taking, how long that bottle of stuff will last. So it's labels. It's all about labels. And a couple terms that are used on a lot of natural supplements, natural meaning non-pharmaceutical. Some terms that just don't mean anything at all. Pharmaceutical grade, in concept, it means it's pure. It means that it hasn't been adulterated, that it's been quality controlled, and it's a good thing. But it's kind of ludicrous because they're comparing natural sources of supplements with pharmaceutical, giving it a pharmaceutical schematic and its profile. It's just a little crazy, but just take it for face value. Pharmaceutical grade is not too bad. It's a lot better than the words natural or quality assured. These are zero. They mean nothing. There is no quality control which says this particular parameters need to be met in order for the word natural to be used or quality assured. They're just total marketing hype words. Just ignore them entirely. Don't rely upon them. Another term that might be really good for you, especially when you're looking at herbs, is field crafted. That's a special one because that means it's actually picked in the field. The blossoms or leaves or stems or whatever are taken off the plant and then thrown into a bag or basket, and then they're taken to a facility, made into pills or powders or capsules or whatever. The point is that it's field crafted. It doesn't kill the plant, so the plant isn't killed. It's sustainable, and what they're taking off the plant is very, very fresh, and it's the right way to do it, rather than just like plow the whole section of thistle or whatever it is. So that's a good thing. Field craft is good. Very often you don't even know where it is. There's some. I talk about brands as well as labels now. I have a couple really, really favorites, and my most reliable is Yarrow Natural, Yarrow formulas, and they're incredible. This is one. Yarrow formulas. This is Sam E. Yarrow formulas is outstanding quality. This is a lower end quality, but it's doable. It's Nature's Way. It's not too bad. I've got several Nature's Way products here. Solgar is another one. Can you see that? Solgar. There's quite a few. And some of the ones that were incredibly respected, like New Chapter, they got bought out by DuPont or one of the big chemical companies, and so now their quality is in suspect. They're just kind of, they're sold out. They're sold out, unfortunately. So it takes some back study to know what you're really buying. Unfortunately, so much to say. Supplementation is a word that gets thrown around a little bit. A lot of bodybuilders call their kind of a code word for steroids is supplementation. Whatever, it's a valid use of the term. It's supplementation. It's adding to whatever your regimen is in the first place. Having said that, there's how do you make life easier? Let me show you here on my counter. I'm putting together some pills for the next couple of days. My supplements for the next couple of days, and I got 7, 8. There's a 10 right here that I'm going to put in. I do 3 a day, morning, evening, and night. And so I have these ramekins, little ways to, and I put how many ever is going in for that day, morning, evening, morning, noon, and night, right here. And then I put them in. I used to use pill boxes. You get them in the store. There's like a whole tray of them, and little flap lids, and 3 or 4 per day, along with medications. And I mean, it works pretty well if you're never ever going to carry them around. I tried it for several months, and those pill boxes would always explode in my backpack or in my pocket at the worst moment. And so there's got all these loose pills that are supposed to be only for noontime and only for dinner time, and they're all together in the bottom of my pocket. crazy. So now I've used these little plastics. You pinch the top bags. They're little plastic pill bags. You can get them at most drugstores if you look hard enough. But they work. They work great, and they're flat. And I just mark A, N, or P on them, and so that's morning, noon, and evening. If it's flat in my pocket, and yeah, once in a while it might explode or age and it falls apart. But that's the way I do it, and no regrets. I have my little pill bags with me all the time. They fit in my pocket just great. So, I don't want to get into specifics about which supplements to take and all stuff, because that really is an individual thing. And even making blanket statements there about a multivitamin is not going to work for everyone, because your situation might require more of selenium, or you might need more vitamin C, or it might be vitamin D that you really are lacking. And so I do take, here's a Super Nutrition multiple vitamin, which is a great label, and I actually know the owner's son, actually. Anyhow, they are very conscientious people. Are always modifying the formula, so I know that they're working hard on it. This has antioxidants in it, phytoantioxidants, and immune support. It's awesome label. But anyhow, there's that you look at the label, you can see all this stuff. If you don't know what they are, just begin to get familiar with the main ones, and you'll be glad you did. It's no fun not knowing what you're taking if your doctor says, so what's in your multiple vitamin? I'll get back to you on that. And I've had to do this myself. I always tell them I'm a certified nutritionist, and so they question me, and I like that. I don't mind my doctors asking me. It's about authority, it's about responsibility, it's about being square with everything and knowing my stuff too. Anyhow, so sometimes I'll have to take a photo of the label and send it to my physician if he's concerned. Very often they're not. They don't really know all that much about nutrition, unfortunately. Some do. Some are very more progressive than others. Thank God. But absolutely do your homework about labels. Get used to reading labels. Know what, and do some research online about which brand names are the best. I live in Palm Springs, in the middle of the desert, and there are a couple really good sources here. But it's all about budget. If you can shop for your own stuff online, then you can sometimes save money. It depends upon the shipping, of course. And very often what I do, I'll find something I like, I'll buy 2 of them. That way I'm essentially saving money on the shipping, because I don't have to pay double shipping over 2 months. If I buy 2 at one time, it'll last for 2 months. You know the math, anyhow. I just had to completely say that. Yes, you can overdose on a lot of vitamins, but in particular, I'm going to say about overdosing quickly here. Vitamin A, you can overdo. Again, it's about the quality and the source of the supplement you're taking. It. They make all kinds of blanket statements about vitamins, and they never say, well, I ask them, well, where did that come from? What's the brand? Is it very lowbrow, cheap end milk thistle, or is it the very top of the line, the really pure, very carefully processed version? And how is it processed? How is it packaged and all that? Anyhow, vitamin A, fascinating thing. You can take too much of it, and it can cause liver and bone damage. But if you don't get enough, that can be even worse. Vitamin A is associated with a lot of orange foods. Carrots, for example, has beta carotene. And as people have that vertical wrinkles in the upper lip. No, not a mustache. But the vertical wrinkles, you see, what is that? It's usually because that person is not eating enough fruit in general, and not enough vegetables in general, but specifically the beta carotenes, the orange foods, carrots, squash, orange. What else is orange? Sweet potatoes in particular. So that's a beta-carotene deficiency that shows up, this vertical creases on the upper lip. You can overdo a lot of things. Zinc above 25 milligrams a day can be bad, but zinc is really beautiful when you have a cold, you feel a cold coming on, or flu-like symptoms. And I've done this so many times. My dear mom, rest in peace, she suggested this a long time ago. When you start feeling the first symptoms, you slam your body with overdoses of vitamin C and zinc, maybe 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and 25 grams of zinc, like every hour. Every other hour for the first day. Maybe every 3 hours or something like that. But just like purposely, intentionally, and consciously overdose on vitamin C and zinc, and usually the next day you'll begin to feel better. The symptoms will be lessened, so that is working. I never use over-the-counter pharmaceuticals to treat these things, so I don't know how they would interact with antihistamines and those cold flu symptoms and NyQuil and all those things. I don't know. I don't really know. I refuse to buy myself into that mode of thinking. But be careful, you're going to combine stuff. You might come up with something that's not so beneficial. So again, it goes with the same principle as if you're adding a supplement new to your regimen. Don't just grab a bunch of them that somebody recommends, me included, and just start taking them and then hope for the best. That's not the real way to take care of your body. Try to think more clinically and logically about it. If you have never ever taken a supplement, then maybe taking more than one to start out with is not a bad thing. Maybe you really need to catch up quick. But if you're going to validate all what you're doing and present this to your doctor, who's going to question your decision making, this is a good thing to do it and document what you're doing. I took this new multiple vitamin. Okay, it's got all this stuff in it, and so let's just make this one change to your eating regimen and your diet and your schematic at a time. Just make one change at a time. This is the ideal thing to do, so that you can monitor, write down how you feel, how you perform, how you're sleeping, how you smell, physical changes, odors and textures in the bathroom. Very important information. If it's when it's critical, you need to know these things: texture and odor, urine and feces, flatulence. If you're having agita, stomach problems, if headaches, rashes, all these things you need to document if they come up. And sometimes you might have a big reaction because all of a sudden your body is getting good stuff. And sometimes your body in the process will be eliminating toxins. And so those will kind of come to the surface, and sometimes on the skin, literally on the surface. Sometimes they will pass through your intestine and out through your body, a normal elimination process. And so that might be a strange temporary bout of diarrhea or really stinky bowels or something. So don't panic. Don't panic when you're making these changes, but don't go off the deep end and just say it doesn't work for me and stop. There's a proper way to do this, and that is to take one pill at a time, one supplement change at a time, document it for several weeks in between blood draws, try to do it this way, and then progress, make changes, make alterations, tweak the dosage, and then perhaps after a month, make another change to your regimen. And document, literally write everything down. That way you know what's going on. You can refer back to it, because it's so easy to forget. Oh, I remember that morning I was feeling really off. Now I remember it because I wrote my notes. I read my notes. If you don't make notes, you can't remember all these little details, because we tend to process the unpleasant ones. Yeah, don't remember that. But anyhow, pretty much what I needed to say. Again, this is general stuff here. I don't have I don't have the time or space to go to all the specifics right here, but I hope to cover that in the book and on the website. By the way, I'm proud to announce that I'm working on a PDF version of the book so that more people can read without buying the printed version, which kills trees. But the graphics will be there too, I hope, and then eventually someday down the road a second version of the whole Megillah. But that's in the works, right? There's a lot on the back burner. No, there's nothing on the back burner there. I mean, on the back burner in my computer, and I'm working on the next version of everything. So this has been a quick overview of supplements and how to manage supplements, vitamins and pills and herbs and everything. So get your little pill boxes and your little cups together and pill boxes and make your pill bags and make your life easier. And it's also a way to remember. Plenty of times, I forgot to take my noon pills, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, so I eat something and take the pills late, and I try to, stave off the evening pills by an hour or two, whatever. Just kind of like, it's not that critical, but if it's supposed to take 3 a day, that's you need to kind of respect that protocol. It delivers you the nutrients 3 times a day, not slamming back at all one dose. There's a reason for that. Am I making any sense here? I hope so. Yes, it's a complicated field, but the good news is that there's more and more supplements out there, more radical treatments that are very natural treatments. Here's another one. Here's one. Rhodiola. I don't know if it's pronounced right or not, but rhodiola is a holistic extract. Wow, it's supposed to fix everything. It's antidepressant as well, even though that's not on the label, but it's I've been product testing this now for a couple of weeks, and so far it's good. I've been sleeping better, number one, I think, and thinking more positive thoughts, and no more rusty razor blades. I'm kidding. Anyhow, so onward and upward, this is Steve Perkins again from the Muscle Kitchen, the Cooking Buff, and my video series called Eat Like You Mean It. There's a couple more segments I want to do that are equally kind of awkward, like this one was, but they're areas which are probably not very popular, but they're very important. So one coming up in particular is called, I don't know what to call it for sure, but it's like fermented, cultured, and sprouted. These are products that most people don't know about, and the fact that you talk about fermented sounds terrible. It sounds like rotted. Who's going to do that? I will explain that in the next video called Fermented, Cultured, and Sprouted, or something like that. So I hope this was a bit helpful. Please let me know what's going on. If you have any questions, email me. Through the connections through all these videos, it goes through My Inspired Media and YouTube, and I've got Facebook connections and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram, Facebook, of course. So let's talk. Steve Perkins again, signing off for now. Bye-bye.